So it's me, Gypsy again, and my last video brought out all sorts of people. We'll say that. If you haven't seen my last video, it's called What Now? And I thought about taking it down, but then the more I thought, I decided not to. Instead, I am making this response video. And I have a list. First, I would like to say thank you to all those who were kind in your comments, who offered me helpful suggestions, who offered me friendship, who offered me thoughts and prayers, who just said really kind, comforting things. Thank you so much for that. If it weren't for those comments, those very nice people, I wouldn't have been able to take the ones that weren't so nice. So thank you. Thank you very much for those of you who were kind and who showed compassion in the things that you said. Number two, this is my channel. So this is my content. As long as I stay within the YouTube guidelines for content, I can put whatever I want on my channel. Be it good, bad, positive, negative. As long as it stays within the parameters that YouTube has set for content, I can put whatever I want on my channel. All I'm going to say about that. If you don't like my content and you don't like my channel, that's fine. Leave. There's nobody holding a gun to your head saying, watch Smallwood Homestead, watch Gypsy. No one is forcing you to watch. So instead of leaving hateful comments or, emailing me not nice things, just leave. Just don't watch. No one's making you watch. You can turn it off anytime you want. You can unsubscribe or not subscribe or watch a different channel in place of mine. So if you don't like my content and you don't like me, and you don't like what I'm saying and you don't like what I'm sharing or what I'm showing, leave. Just leave. You don't have to tell me you're leaving. You don't have to tell me why you're leaving. Just leave. Now I'm going to address all the suggestions that I was given. Because I was given a lot of really useful and polite and helpful suggestions. And that is what I appreciate. That was left for me on that last video. That last video, I was upset. I was desperate. I felt alone. I'm a single woman. I'm 50 years old. I live alone in the woods. I have a rare degenerative disease and 2 other degenerative conditions that affect my body in ways that I don't know from day to day what's going to happen. I live with my cats. That's the only real comfort I have. So when I made that video, it was because I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I have a history of depression, and when I get to a certain place, I have to do some self-care, or else I end up in the hospital. And when I made that video, I was basically trying to keep myself out of the hospital. And again, yeah, I could have chosen not to post it, but it's my channel and it's my content. And And as long as I stay within the parameters of YouTube and what YouTube says are okay to post for content, then I can post videos like that. So now I want to go down the suggestions. Someone made the suggestion, well, it was actually a comment about selling my books, because I have all the books behind me, or my furniture, etc. And to that I say, make me an offer. Make me an offer. Because I guarantee there's no one in my rural Midwest community who would buy any of it. Half of it, actually over half of it, came from the thrift store or from yard sales, and it's not worth pennies. It's not. And you want to know how I know? Because I tried taking some DVDs, I tried taking them to the pawn shop. They wouldn't even offer me 50 cents. I couldn't even give them away. So you think that I can sell these books behind me or this furniture I'm sitting on? To that I say, make me an offer. Make me an offer. Someone suggested that I stop my 2 subscription boxes because that was money going out every month. That was $40 a month going out. You know what? I did stop one of them. And I'm not ready to stop the other one yet because I get so little joy in my life right now. I don't get mail other than the subscription boxes. People don't write me. I don't go out. I don't go on dates. I don't go to movies. I don't go to dinner. I don't go out for coffee. I stay home. So it's nice once a month to get a little something in the mail. So I stopped one box, but I'm keeping the other one for now. Because right now, that's the only special treat I get. That's it. Number 3, get rid of my cats. Yep, you're right. I could get rid of my cats. They do cost. And I did ask my ex-husband if he would take them because I'm afraid that I won't be able to feed them much longer. My ex-husband is a kind man, a very kind man, and he said that instead of taking them, he would just buy their food. My cats are my only companions. Like I said, I live alone. Completely alone in the middle of a very dark, opposing woods. Apply for public assistance. Done. I do receive food stamps and a medical card, and on the 4th I have an appointment to see if they can help me with some cash assistance since my unemployment ran out until I get a job. And I have been looking. On average, I apply for 5 jobs a day. I'm not even kidding. I have applied for the same jobs 3 or more times. Every time they post that it's still available, yes, I apply, I call, I check up. Grow my own food. Well, yeah, I do when it's springtime and summer. But we're in the middle of winter here in the Midwest. We're still getting snow. We go from temperatures of 65 one day to 25 the next day. So I have started some tomato plants in my house, but there's only so much I can do inside my house. And I live in the middle of the woods. So the sunlight, yeah, it only hits certain places. So yes, I will grow my own food when the weather warms up. I do have a pantry that I have been stocking for a while now. So food isn't the problem. Food is not the issue. I will have food. I won't starve to death. But my lights may go out. My heat may go out. They may come and take my property because I can't pay the taxes. Um, okay. Ask Ameren for help. Done. I have signed up for the equalizer plan to reduce my payments on my heating bills. Go to the food bank. Well, that's kind of double fold. If my food stamps run out, I will go to the food bank. However, I live in a rural Midwest community, and there are 2 food banks here, and they have so much demand and so little supply that I have been avoiding going to the food bank because I'm always the one that donates to the food bank because I know how bad off the food banks are here. Like I said, I live in a rural Midwest community, okay? The unemployment rate here is above the national average, okay? I live in a poor community. Poor. Not just rural, but poor rural community, okay? Contact church groups. I did contact some church groups, and you have to be a member of that church more often than not for them to help you. They help their church members first, which I get that. I am not offended by that. I totally get that. I am not a church member anywhere because I am a pagan. I do have a friend who's a pastor, and he, bless his heart, he helped me out with $50. And I am very thankful for that. That went towards the light bill. So, yes, I have done that suggestion. Revamp your resume. Have your resume evaluated by a professional. Done. Did that. I actually did that 2 months ago. Had my resume completely redone by a professional because I thought maybe it was my resume that was keeping me from getting hiring. So changed up my resume, got it all redone professionally and everything, and that's the one I've been using. File for disability. Well, I have a rheumatology appointment on the 4th, and I have to get a letter from a doctor stating what my physical conditions are and how debilitating they are to help my case in filing for disability. So after I go see the rheumatologist, yeah, it's a real possibility that I'll be filing for disability. Contact the local Red Cross. Well, unfortunately, because we have had severe flooding in my area, the Red Cross is tapped. They are busy helping victims of the flood, and I want them to. I am still above ground. I know people who are not. So that has been something I have looked into. Go to your community center. They don't exist here. There is no community center here. So, and I'm not sure what they would do for me. But yeah, there isn't one. Park a tiny house on your property and charge rent, or get boarders in your house. Well, you know what I found out last summer? That is illegal in my county. Even though I own my land, unless that person is a family member, and they do ask for ID, I cannot have anyone else paying me money to stay here unless they're a family member. I was actually going to let a person build a tiny house on my land and found out from the city government, yeah, that's illegal. Completely illegal. Can I do babysitting? Yes and no. Again, unless it's a family member, I have to go through babysitting certification. I shit you not. That is a thing here. You have to go through the babysitting certification, and it costs money to get the certification. And then, once you're certified, then you can go and apply for babysitting jobs. But yeah, it has to do with liability and CPR and first aid and all that kind of stuff. I had heard they were going to start doing that, but that was so long ago, that I wasn't babysitting anymore, so I didn't worry about it. But I checked into it again because someone had made the suggestion of doing babysitting. Yeah, you have to be certified. apply at Amazon or the hospital, done. Unfortunately, Amazon has no openings in my area. I am in southern Illinois. I am about six and a half hours away from Chicago. If I lived in Chicago, I could get a job at Amazon, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Or if I lived in Effingham or Edwardsville or Nashville, yes, I have looked. Apply at the hospital. I did apply at the hospital. I applied for reception. I applied for secretary. I applied for patient coordinator. I applied for housekeeping. I applied for dietary aid. Yes, I have applied at my local hospital. I can't get hired. I don't know why. I can't even get an interview. I have no idea why. Whenever I call to check on my application, they say, we're still reviewing applications. And then 2 days later, I get an email saying thanks, but no thanks. Have I thought about a reversed mortgage? No. Now, that was a suggestion I had not thought of. Yet another reason for posting my video, because it's good to get suggestions that I haven't thought of, because I thought I'd thought of everything. I had not thought about a reverse mortgage. So I am going to go look into that. I am going to look into that because, no, I hadn't thought about that. That was a new one on me. So thank you, Gary. That was Gary who suggested that. Thank you, Gary, for suggesting that, because that was a new idea to me. Have you taken out a bank loan? I cannot get a bank loan because I have bad credit. And I have bad credit because of my first marriage and because of my student loans. And that's all I need to say about that. And then that takes me into student loan deferment. I thought my student loans were deferred when the IRS took my income tax refund. I had been in contact with the student loans. I had written them several times, provided all sorts of information to them. And, you know, I got a letter 6 months ago saying my loans were in deferment. I have heard nothing else since then. And now suddenly the IRS takes my income tax refund. So I don't know. When I was talking to my ex-husband about it, he said the same thing happened to him. Not this year, but several years ago. So I have no idea what happened. I want to reiterate that I live in a poor, rural, Midwest community with little to no resources. All of the resources from my state stay up north in frickin' Chicago. That's where they stay. They don't come down south. People like me are left to struggle in southern Illinois. We are. We just are. And the last thing I want to bring up is mental illness and depression. I have PTSD and I have depression. I've never lied about it. I've never tried to hide it. And I refuse to take down videos in which I exhibit the signs and symptoms of those illnesses. And there's a reason why. Because for too long, people have not talked about it. It's been pushed into closets and swept under rugs, and no one talks about the fact that people get sad, or that people have PTSD, or whatever your mental illness is. People have OCD. OCD is considered a mental illness. But people don't want to talk about it. People, don't talk about that. It's like, you know, there once was a time when you didn't mention the word cancer. Well, did that cure cancer by not talking about it? No. Is not talking about depression going to make it go away? No. I am a human being. I get happy and I get sad. And because it's my channel and I want to bring awareness to whatever I want to bring awareness to, I am going to talk about when I'm sad, when I'm upset, when I am feeling hopeless. Because you know what? I'm not the only person out there that feels it. I'm just one of the few people in this world who's willing to go public and talk about it. I am willing to publicly put myself out there and say, you know what? This is what the face of depression looks like. This is what the face of PTSD looks like. And as I said in the beginning of the video, if you don't like my content, or you don't like me, or you don't like what I'm promoting, or what I'm saying, leave. Just go. You don't have to watch. You don't have to subscribe. Hell, you don't even have to learn my name. Just don't leave me hateful comments. You know, it's a very sick person who leaves hateful comments to a person battling depression, especially when in the video they've expressed how hopeless they feel. And then for someone else to come along and kick them even more. Especially, I mean, in the video, I talked about being kicked when I was down. And then for other people to come and, with their comments, kick. And yes, I've removed the comments, so you won't find them. It's a good thing that I am a stronger person than I sometimes feel. Because some of those comments, yeah. I know I will make it. But I have periods of hopelessness. And what do? I make a video. I try to reach out to friends to talk to me, to listen to me. I pet my cats. I cry all day and I get it out. And then after a few days of doing that, I feel better. And then I start making my plan of attack. But you can't fault me for being human. You can't fault me for reaching out. You know what? If I hadn't posted that video, I wouldn't have gotten the suggestion about the reverse mortgage. And that was one I had not thought of. That idea alone gave me a little bit of hope. Because it was like, oh, that's something I didn't know about. That's something I hadn't thought of. So that was like a little spark, a tiny grain of sand to hold on to and go, that's something I haven't tried yet. So there's one more thing I could try. That right there was a ray of hope. And like I said, if I hadn't posted my video, I would have never gotten that ray of hope. So where would I be today? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know the future. I don't predict the future. I'm not a psychic. I read tarot cards, but that's symbology. That's not, whoo. Honey, if I knew the future, I wouldn't be worrying about the present. Like I said, this is my response video. You're welcome to watch the What Now video. I'm going to leave it up. I am. I'm going to leave it up. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some more suggestions that, I hadn't thought of. Again, thank you to Brenda and Tim and Alan and Heather and Gary and all the others, Rayleigh and everybody who commented positive things, nice things. Thank you so much for being a friend, because that's what friends do. Friends don't knock each other out. Friends offer support and comfort. And all you haters out there, get the hell off my channel. I don't need you. I don't need people like you in my life. I have enough of that in my real life. I don't need it on YouTube as well. That's why I left Facebook. I left Facebook for that reason. But YouTube keeps me connected to the world outside my house. I don't want to give it up. If you've made it all the way through this very long video, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Namaste, friends. Have a great day.